Listen closely, my friends. Somewhere tonight, a man is going to sleep on a floor with a stomach that has not been full in 3 days, and he is going to sleep more peacefully than you did last night. Somewhere tonight, a woman who buried her husband 4 years ago is going to laugh so hard at something small that she has to sit down. And somewhere tonight, you, with your bed, your food, your working legs, your phone full of people who love you, are going to lie awake replaying a comment someone made about you 6 hours ago. This is not a coincidence. This is not luck. This is not some genetic gift handed to a fortunate few while the rest of us were left out in the cold. It is habit. It is choice. Repeated so many times, it stopped feeling like choice at all. And in the next few minutes, I am going to hand you the exact 7 habits that separate the people who wake quietly for a life they cannot name from the people who wake up already at peace with the one they have. I want to warn you before we start. This is not going to be soft. I am not here to give you 8 minutes of vague comfort so you can close the tab feeling nice for an hour and change nothing. Some of what I say today is going to sound like it is speaking directly about your life, because it is. Because I have watched thousands of people, men and women just like you, carry the exact same invisible weight, and not one of them was carrying it because life was crueler to them than it is to you. They were carrying it because nobody had ever sat them down and told them the truth the old philosophers already knew. So stay with me until the end. Welcome to Stoic Power Hub. If this is your first time here, understand what this channel actually is. It is not another self-help account selling you 5-minute fixes and pretty quotes over a sunset. It is a place where men who lost their sons, men who were enslaved, men who were exiled from every comfort they had ever known, hand you, across 2,000 years, the exact tools they used to remain unbroken. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire on earth while burying child after child, and he never once let it turn him bitter. Epictetus was property, a slave with a shattered leg, and he died freer in his mind than most emperors. Seneca was ordered to end his own life, and he did it with more composure than most people show ordering coffee. These were not men without pain. These were men who built a fortress inside themselves that pain could not fully occupy. If you want that fortress, subscribe now, because every video on this channel is another brick, and the version of you 6 months from now is going to either thank you or resent you, depending entirely on what you do the next few minutes. Let's start with the lie you were sold. You were told happiness is a destination. Get the job, get the body, get the partner, get the number in the account, and then, finally, you arrive. You get to rest. You get to feel whole. And maybe you have already tasted how false that promise is. You got the job, and by the 3rd month, it was just Tuesday again. You got the relationship, and the butterflies dissolved into routine within a year. You got the number in the account, and you simply started aiming at a bigger number. Psychologists gave this a clinical name, hedonic adaptation, but Zeno of Citium understood it in a marketplace in Athens over 2,000 years before a single study confirmed it. He watched wealthy men chase pleasure like dogs chasing a cart, never catching it, never satisfied even when they did. And from that observation, an entire school of thought was born, one built on a single brutal, liberating idea. Happiness was never a thing you find outside yourself. It is a structure you build inside yourself, one deliberate habit at a time, regardless of what is happening outside the walls. Habit 1. Own the first 60 seconds before the world owns you. Marcus Aurelius commanded legions. He held the fate of an empire between 2 hands. And most mornings before the machinery of Rome came crashing down on him, this man forced himself to sit in the dark and write to no one but himself. We only know his private words today because he never meant for us to read them. In one of the most quoted lines from that private notebook, he tells himself, "At dawn, when it is a struggle to get up, remind yourself that you were born to do the work of a human being, and ask why you would resent going out to do exactly what you were made for." Read that again. The single most powerful man on the planet had to argue himself out of bed the same way you do on a grey Monday. The difference between him and you was never motivation. It was that he protected a window, a small one, where he decided who he was going to be before the world got the chance to decide it for him. Here is what almost nobody explains about mornings, and it is not mystical, it is mechanical. The first input your mind receives sets the emotional frequency for the hours that follow. If the first thing you do is open a screen and let 15 strangers, 3 manufactured emergencies, and an endless scroll of curated other people's highlight reels pour directly into your nervous system, you have handed control of your entire day to people who have never met you and never will. You did not choose your mood this morning. You rented it out before you even stood up. Epictetus, a man born into chains, said the one thing no chain could ever touch was his own judgment, his own will, his own first response to whatever the day handed him. Everything else, he said plainly, belongs to fortune. But that first 60 seconds, that belongs only to you, and fortune cannot touch it unless you hand it over willingly. So tomorrow, before your feet hit the floor, before your thumb finds the screen, give yourself 60 seconds and ask one question. Who am I choosing to be today, regardless of what happens? You do not need a beautiful answer. You need the discipline to ask it before the noise gets there first. Because the person who claims those 60 seconds is authoring their day, and the person who reaches for the phone first is simply reading everyone else's. Habit 2. Stop asking why me. Start asking what now. There is a story about Epictetus that has survived for 2,000 years because of how quietly devastating it is. As a slave, his leg was being twisted deliberately by his master in an act of cruelty. And Epictetus, according to the tradition passed down about him, did not scream. He calmly warned that if the force continued, the bone would break. When it did break, he did not collapse into rage. He simply noted, with unsettling calm, that he had told him this would happen. No hysteria, no collapse. Because raging against a bone that has already snapped does not unbreak it. Sit with that, because there is something underneath it that will change how you move through this week. Almost none of your suffering comes from the events themselves. It comes from your war against events that have already finished happening and cannot be undone. Someone cuts you off in traffic. The event itself lasts 2 seconds, and yet some people carry that 2-second event for the next 30 minutes, narrating it, rehearsing the perfect comeback they never got to deliver, poisoning an entire morning over something that is already permanently in the past. The traffic did not ruin their day. Their refusal to let it go did. Marcus Aurelius wrote himself the same reminder over and over, almost as if his own mind kept forgetting it. He said the obstacle in the road becomes the road. Whatever blocks the path becomes the new path. Rain destroyed his plans. Fine. The rain is now the plan. A friend betrayed him. Fine. That betrayal is now the material he has to work with. Not because he enjoyed it, but because arguing with something that has already happened is a fight you were never going to win. And every unwinnable fight you enter is a small, voluntary theft from your own peace. Happy people are not people to whom nothing bad ever happens. That belief is a trap. and it will make you feel personally betrayed every single time life does what life has always done to every human being who has ever lived. What separates them is a single shift in the first question they ask. Not why is this happening to me? A question with no answer that only spins you deeper into the drain. Instead, given that this has already happened, what is the most useful thing I can do right now? That shift costs nothing, and it returns to you almost immediately every ounce of energy you were about to waste on something you cannot change. Think about someone you actually know, maybe it is you, who lost a job and spent the next 6 months replaying the unfairness of it, the office politics behind it, the name of the person who should have been let go instead. That replaying has never once returned a single job to a single person. It only extends the original injury month after month, long after the actual event ended in a single afternoon. Now picture someone else, someone who lost the same job, felt the gut punch fully for exactly one evening, and by the following week was already updating a resume, already calling old contacts, already treating the layoff as a strange kind of starting gun instead of a life sentence. Same event, same unfairness, wildly different outcome. The difference was never luck. It was which question got asked first. Chrysippus, the philosopher who took Stoicism from a promising idea and built it into a rigorous system of logic, argued that our emotional reactions are not caused directly by events, but by the judgments we silently attach to them in the instant after they happen. The traffic itself is neutral. The insult itself is neutral. It is the verdict you hand down in the half-second afterward, "This should not be happening to me," that manufactures the suffering that follows. Change the verdict, and you change the entire emotional weather system that follows it. This is not a comforting bedtime story. It is closer to a mechanical fact about how a human mind actually works. One Chrysippus was mapping out in careful detail centuries before anyone had the word psychology. Try this the next time life knocks something out of your hands this week. Give yourself 60 real seconds to feel it. Stoicism was never about pretending you feel nothing. That is a lazy misreading of the philosophy. Feel it fully, honestly, for 60 seconds. And then ask the only question that has ever mattered. What now? You will be shocked at how much of your own strength returns to you the moment you stop arguing with a war that is already over. Habit 3. Draw the line between what is yours and what was never yours. Picture Marcus Aurelius at his writing table again, working through the single distinction that, once you truly understand it, will quietly dismantle most of your anxiety for the rest of your life. Some things, he wrote, are up to us. Our judgments, our effort, our own conduct, our own choices. And some things are simply not up to us. Our reputation in the mouths of strangers. The opinions of people who barely know us. The outcome of an effort we have already given everything to. Here is the part almost nobody says clearly enough. An enormous share of your unhappiness right now, today, is not coming from anything that happened to you. It is coming from the energy you keep pouring into things that were never yours to control in the first place. Count it honestly. How much of your mental bandwidth today has gone toward a stranger's opinion of you online, a co-worker who may or may not actually like you, an economy you cannot personally steer, a person from your past who has already moved on completely, whether your children, 20 years from now, will make the choices you hope they make. Every one of these concerns is real, and every single one of them sits, almost entirely, outside the boundary of your control in this exact moment. The Stoics were never telling you to stop caring. Musonius Rufus, the philosopher who taught Epictetus, insisted that duty to others was central, not optional, to a well-lived life. But he drew a hard line between showing up fully for your responsibilities and torturing yourself over outcomes your effort has already released. You can prepare for the presentation with everything you have. You cannot control whether the client says yes. Pour your full self into the part that belongs to you. The second it leaves your hands, your grip must leave with it. I want to be honest with you about something here, because I do not think it gets said enough on this platform. This particular habit is genuinely difficult to practice, especially with the people you love most. Telling a parent to release their grip on an adult child's choices can sound cold, almost heartless, if you misunderstand what the old philosophers actually meant by it. They were never telling you to love people less. Cleanthes, who took over the Stoic school after Zeno died and held it together through poverty so severe he reportedly hauled water at night just to afford his daytime study, taught that duty and detachment were never enemies of each other. Show up completely, love fully, give everything that is actually yours to give, and then release your grip on the parts of the outcome that were never yours to hold in the first place. Because gripping tighter has never once protected the people you love. It only exhausts you, without changing their path by a single inch. If any part of this is landing for you right now, tell me with one word in the comments below, just the word control, so I know how many of you are actually still here with me, because it takes 2 seconds and it tells me exactly what to make more of. This week, every time you notice yourself spiraling, replaying a conversation for the 10th time, rehearsing an argument that already ended, ask one blunt question. Is this actually within my control right now? If the answer is no, you are not being told to stop caring. You are being told to stop bleeding for something your bleeding cannot fix. Redirect every ounce of that same energy toward the next thing that actually is yours to shape. Do that daily, and you will discover, quietly, that most of what has been exhausting you was never a real fight to begin with. It was a war against a wall, and walls have never once lost to anyone who threw themselves at them harder. Habit 4. Hold a nightly reckoning with yourself. Seneca described, in a letter to his younger friend Lucilius, a practice passed down to him from an older philosopher, one he performed every night once the lamps went out and the house had gone quiet. He asked himself, plainly, without mercy and without cruelty, what bad habit did I resist today? What fault did I correct? In what way am I better tonight than I was this morning? He went over the entire day in his mind, hiding nothing from himself, sparing nothing, examining his words and his actions, the way a strict but loving friend examines you, not the way an enemy searches for ammunition. Here is the psychological weight hiding underneath this ancient habit. Most people carry a low, constant hum of anxiety they can never quite name. A sense that the days are sliding past them while nothing real is actually being built or learned. That unnamed hum sits underneath almost every other anxiety you carry, quietly amplifying all of them. A nightly reckoning interrupts it directly. It forces you to find, even on the most forgettable Tuesday of your entire year, some small piece of evidence that you are actually growing instead of merely aging. It does something else too. Something almost nobody points out. Without a deliberate reckoning, the unresolved fragments of your day follow you into bed uninvited, replaying themselves at midnight while you are desperately trying to sleep. With a reckoning, you process them on your own terms for 5 honest minutes, and then you are finally allowed to set them down. There is a reason this particular habit gets skipped more often than almost any other on this list, even by people who genuinely want a calmer life. It requires you to look directly at the parts of your day you would rather forget. The sharp comment you fired at someone who did not deserve it. The deadline you quietly let slip. The few minutes you burned scrolling instead of doing the one thing you told yourself actually mattered. Most people avoid that kind of honest reckoning because it is uncomfortable in the moment. But Seneca understood something the rest of us keep forgetting. Avoiding 5 minutes of discomfort does not make the discomfort disappear. It simply lets it accumulate quietly, night after night, into a heavier and heavier sense that you're not quite living the way you actually want to live, without ever being able to name why. Rutilius Rufus, a Roman statesman driven unjustly into exile despite a lifetime of honest service, reportedly refused every opportunity to return home once his name was cleared, choosing instead to live out his days in simplicity, at peace with a conscience he had spent